Welcome back to Copper Age Gold. On this episode, we're at Cincinnati Comic Expo, and we're hanging out with Kevin Eastman. Yeah! Want to know where I get all my cool action figures and collectibles? Entertainment Earth. Use code COPPER to save yourself 10% off in-stock purchases and get free shipping when you spend $99 or more in the U.S. All right, man. So tell us about the 40th anniversary of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the tour.
Let me adjust my Depends first. Well, I like to start by saying I have the greatest job because I have the greatest fans ever. I grew up as a fan of comic books. It was a lifelong dream to draw them. And the fact that I've actually been able to fulfill that dream and draw Turtles for 40 years with my co-creator, Peter Laird, is a dream come true. And it's because we have such wonderful fans that are willing to stand in line, come to these shows, and hang out and support the ideas, whether it be the craziest turtle idea to the craziest toy to the craziest comic. But it's just a dream job, and I can't believe I get to celebrate it with everybody all around the country and the world.
Absolutely. And the line was insane yesterday at Cincinnati Comic Expo for Kevin. There's Kevin Eastman. Tons of people in line to meet Kevin, of course.
Yeah, the fans here have been off the charts.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So tell us about your inspirations, either be it writing or doing art. When you were younger, before you started doing Turtles, like what was like the main influences that made you want to draw?
Sure. I grew up loving children's book initially, Dr. Seuss and those kinds of things. But when I discovered comic books, it was a whole new world. Everything opened up, and that if you could think about it and write about it and draw it, you could go to an adventure. You could take yourself and your characters to an adventure anywhere, past, present, future. And in particular for me, and Peter Laird as well, was Jack Kirby was a huge inspiration. So
yeah, absolutely.
You think of how many characters he created, how many stories, and how many places that he told. Thousands and thousands of comics.
Yeah.
And, just so that to me was really appealing. So that's where I wanted to be a writer and an artist. And again, following in the footsteps of Jack Kirby. So that's the main inspiration for me.
Around what time frame did you kind of realize that you had a skill to draw? And not yesterday. I mean,
it's still, as an artist, we're our own worst critics. But but I remember, memories like telling my parents I was going to be a cartoonist like Jack Kirby, and they had this mortified look on their face, like, "Oh my God, we're going to have one."
What's a Jack Kirby?
Well, yeah, they go like, "Oh, we're going to have one of those kids that's never going to move out of the basement," kind of things. He reads comic books and draws all day.
Right.
But no, that was a dream, and it wasn't until the Turtles really that. And it was one of those things that we had the success with the first issue and the second issue, and it kept building.
Yeah.
That we were able to fulfill that dream by we were drawing full-time, comics full-time.
Right.
Whether we thought we were good or bad or whatever, we were still doing what we dreamed about, and that was the most important part. And I can't believe, again, I was 21 when issue 2 came out, when we started doing all things Turtles, and here I am at 62, and I'm still drawing Turtles. So I'm still
cool,
living
man.
the dream.
Awesome. So the Turtles have been absolutely absorbed by pop culture. There's, of course, comics. There's, of course, cartoons, toys. There's movies. Which one of those fields surprises you the most about the success?
And I know I'm not pandering and I say all of them, because, when you go back to the first issue selling as well enough as it did to allow us to do a second printing of issue 1 and then a second issue of the Turtles. And then when we worked on the original cartoon show and the toys, it was one of those things that, like, we loved it. We loved the opportunity to have it, but we just didn't see it working.
Right.
And the fact that the fans stepped up and all the young people that are now, early 30s that are coming through the line now, started buying it. That was an amazing thing to us. When we look at high points, many high points, like the first Turtle movie, which I thought was just, out of all the Turtle entertainment franchises and things that we've done, the first movie to me was the best and the most awesome. And the fact that that worked as well as it did, that resonated with fans as well as it did.
Probably grabbed a bunch of people who didn't read comics or didn't read, collect toys too, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it brought them into the field. And so, you follow that path all the way through to, say, Mutant Mayhem, which came out last year, which I loved it as a movie, which is really, really funny. And I always say that you can't tell kids like you and I when we were kids, we decided what was cool.
Exactly.
And what was not cool. So we decided what we're going to read. And so the fact that after all these years that Turtles have decided, kids are deciding they like Turtles is pretty fun.
There you go. Awesome. Awesome, man. One more quick question.
Sure.
I want to talk about the success of The Last Ronin. It has sold over 1 million copies, comics, collections, hardcovers. What makes it so special, and what do you think people connected with?
I think it was really a love poem to many things that were inspiring to both Peter and I in the early days, which was things like Dark Knight, but the original Turtle fandom, the people that were buying the black and white comic books in the early day. We wanted to write this book that was sort of a completion and a finality of everything that we started with issue 1, Peter and I. And so when we released it, we wanted to be that sort of thank you, fans. This is the final Turtle story that sort of wraps up. And it was based on an idea Pete and I had in 1987. Tom Waltz, the incredible Tom Waltz, and I adapted it for The Last Ronin. And we hoped that, like, honestly and sincerely, we hoped it would sell as much as the ongoing series we were doing at the time. And the fact that it did so much more than that was surprising to us. And now they're talking about a movie, and they're talking about a video game.
Nice.
And we're making toys. So it's a gift if you write a good story, you write it from the heart, you want to take it all the way there. That means the most to me and us that worked on it. The Scorza brothers, Ben Bishop and Tom. It works, and that works so well. And thank you. And the fans really stepped up for us.
Awesome. Well, thank you, man. I very much appreciate your time.
Great talking to you.